ask for it, you got it. We deliver tonight for insiders and their guests only. Exclusive to FireYourMDNow.com. A webinar, worldwide webinar on fibromyalgia. Understanding the ins and outs of fibromyalgia and why it is a perfect lens through which to understand the absurdity of MD-directed medical understanding. But that's not all. Special guest tonight, the one, the only, Dr. Joel Wallach will be joining us for the webinar this evening, telling us about the work that he did in Kaishan province in China and how that's relevant to the ongoing war that we're up against here. The war for your mind, the war for your health, the war for your pocketbook that Youngevity has taken up the charge for. Tonight, 8 o'clock Central. If you're not an insider, what are you waiting for? Please visit the website, FireYourMDNow.com, and become a subscriber. Get yourself a subscription to my monthly online health recovery stuff, which will give you access tonight to my worldwide webinar with special guest, Dr. Joel Wallach, Understanding Fibromyalgia. That's 8 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. Today is December 5th, Thursday, December 5th, 2013. I'm your host for the next 2 hours, Dr. Peter Glidden. The call-in number here, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. And if you're listening to the podcast, this show is podcast for 24 hours immediately after the fact. Quite frankly, you can listen to the podcast whenever you want, 365 days of the year. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you very much. Sorry you couldn't join us live. Please call us if you have any questions or would like to join the charge here as a Youngevity customer, so you can get Youngevity supplements at the wholesale price and recover your health. Or join us as a business builder and help us spread Dr. Wallach's message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. That number, 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. We're kicking it with the commander today here in the first half hour of this program. Let's welcome him aboard, Mark Denning, a.k.a. the Commander. Check him out at wellnesswarriors.com. Welcome aboard, Commander.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how are you?
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. How goes the world war in back of the ambulance?
The world war, it's 3, 4, and 5 in the back of the ambulance, brother.
Is that right? What's going on with the Wellness Warriors these days? Bring me up to speed.
Man, they're ripping it up, man. They're just a lot more like sponges. What do I take for this? What do I take for that? What do I, But we got to help them to realize is that, we tell them all the time, they get with the 90. See what the 90 will do unless you have really something specified. And then we make recommendations. And they've got to be all in the nutrition. We just had a big discussion about coconut oil again the other day, about people that have itchy scalps. So make some shampoo from coconut oil, neem oil, and something else, or just something to put on your head. I said, but shampoo's a Band-Aid. You got to heal it from the inside out. So,
exactly.
It was good banter. It was good banter, and nobody shot anyone, and everybody is alive today. And, this is an
interesting point, right? And this is what we do here. We have open-minded, lively conversations on Facebook, on the chats, on the radio, at the live events. This is one gigantic town meeting. It's one gigantic town meeting with a number of different formats. And one of the great things about Youngevity and about Wellness Warriors and about Team Glidden and about all of the members of Youngevity worldwide is that what we do is we come around the campfire and we talk. We talk open-mindedly. We talk with passion. We talk with facts to back us up about what's going on, and we really just try to educate people, because a little bit of education in this regard goes a long, long way, a long, long way indeed. And it never ceases to amaze me how very much people in the United States and in Canada, I haven't spent much time in Europe, so I can't speak to that, but it amazes me how very little people understand about how the body really works, because for the last 100 years, everybody has drunken the MD-directed Kool-Aid, that the human body is just an evolutionary accident. So basically a bag of biochemicals that has no inherent intelligence, no inherent self-healing ability. And people just trust that their MD knows what's best for them, and this is why they get into so much trouble. And this is also why initially we have a challenge to try to show people our methodology, because it's brand new and it's nothing they've ever thought of before, and it's an interesting juxtaposition of events. Because on the one hand, you have people who are hurting and who are yearning for information. They're looking for ways to recover. They're looking for ways because they know that the MD way isn't working. They're at the end of their ropes. But our message is often so radical to the way that they've been thought that people oftentimes have a hard time wrapping their brains around it. Has that been your experience, Commander?
Exactly, Dr. Glidden. That has been the total experience. And again, that's what we give them, Team Glidden. We give them the Warriors. People go on the Longevity corporate page, and, they put it out there. I can only tell you my brain's on fire, buddy. And But we're grateful for that. We need that. I just heard today that President Obama needs a bunch of young, healthy people to sign up for Obamacare, so it would outweigh the more ill elderly people, right? So it would balance the cost.
Yeah, this is another very interesting thing to talk about, because Obamacare is intended to massage and tweak a broken system. But nobody in the world understands that the system is broken except Longevity Nation. Most people in the United States don't even know how to pronounce naturopathic, let alone know what it is. Most people have been conned by Big Pharma into thinking that holistic medical doctors are all wearing Birkenstocks, all have hair down to their waists, and all running around, without any clothes on under the full moon. It's nonsense. People just are not aware of the benefits of holistic medicine, and the simple fact of the matter is that the medical system in the United States, the insurance industry, the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, doesn't need to be massaged. It doesn't need to be upregulated. It doesn't need to be downregulated. It doesn't need to be made mandatory. It needs to be abandoned, because for chronic diseases it doesn't work. The worst possible thing that anybody can do for their health in the face of a chronic disease is bring their body to an MD. The best possible thing that somebody can do when they're involved with an acute illness, something like, I'm bleeding, my artery, my carotid artery is bleeding, I've got a bullet in my arm, I've got a triple compound fracture of my femur, something like that. That's when you, in the back of the ambulance, sometimes in the front of the ambulance, I hear, that's when the emergency room docs shine. And for goodness sake, in a perfect world, it would be illegal for MDs to practice anything but trauma. It would be illegal for them to practice. We don't let chiropractors do open heart surgery, but we let MDs do whatever the heck they want, even though they are unbelievably bad at it. They are unbelievably bad. Not because they're unskilled, but because their understanding of the pathology of the illness is backwards, outdated, old-fashioned, juvenile, and dangerous, and their treatments are also old-fashioned, outdated, backwards, juvenile, and dangerous. They bring. Did you say outdated, juvenile, and dangerous, too? I think I might have, once or twice.
Once or twice, buddy.
So, this is our message, ladies and gentlemen. Fire your medical doctor. Fire your medical doctor frequently. And join Longevity instead. this is the way that it's going. So how many members is
the Warriors?
The Warriors. How many members is
1,100.
Oh, that's awesome.
Incredible.
And how long have you been doing it, Commander? How long have you been actively involved with the Wellness Warriors?
A little over a year I started that group.
Well, that's fantastic. So 1,100 divided by 12, that's about 100 people a month. I mean, that's really pretty great.
That's over 3 a day sometimes.
You really got to love it. And, you know, this is how it goes. And social networking like this, especially when you're networking inside of a group that gets results like Longevity does,
right.
After a while, it becomes a runaway train. After a while, it becomes a juggernaut. After a while, it becomes a gigantic snowball rolling down the mountainside, an avalanche that nothing can stop.
That's right.
So, for goodness sake, 1,100 in 1 year, I can only imagine what it's going to be like a year from today.
I can tell you it'd be like 1,200 in the next month, easy. I had 18 requests yesterday. 18
requests in 1 day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is a testimony not only to the effectiveness of social media and the effectiveness and honesty of the longevity message, but it's also a testament to, I think, the commander himself in being able to shepherd the Wellness Warriors forward like this. It's really a great thing, Mr. Denning. You should be proud of yourself.
Well, you know, I learned from you, buddy, and Dr. Wallach.
Very excited about tonight's webinar, by the way. Dr. Wallach's going to be in the house talking to us about the work that he did in Kaishan province, over 1,000 autopsies showing a relationship between muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, if you're in Longevity Nation, ladies and gentlemen, mark it on your calendar. Drop everything that you're doing. Call the babysitter now because you're not going to want to miss this live event. We're going to have an overflow room tonight, 8 o'clock for insiders only. Check it out, fireyourmdnow.com. Become an insider, and I look forward to seeing you there tonight at 8 o'clock, understanding fibromyalgia. Stick around, coming back with the commander when we return. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday, December 5th, 2013. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your host. Kicking it with the commander here for the next 5 minutes. Then we're going to take your calls, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. So months ago, Commander, we were talking about the lack of prescription medications in the back of the ambulance. Has that gotten any better?
Nope, it's not better. In fact, it's worse. In fact, one of the warriors brought up the fact that companies that make antibiotics are just stopping because there's no effectiveness, lack of effectiveness, and there's no market for them.
So typically, what kind of stuff do you need in the back of the ambulance that you don't have or that you run out of frequently, that you really have to, be careful that you don't run out of it?
Well, you know, it's the cardiac antiarrhythmics that many times are short. Atropine, the drug we use to stimulate the heart and speed up the heart rate, or even adrenaline sometimes there'll be a lack of that as well. I mean, or another one, magnesium. There's been shortages like that. We have to go between ambulances just to use up what we have and make sure everybody has something, right? Something that we can use in case we need to.
I mean, have you ever had someone in the back of the ambulance and you needed a drug and you had to track down another ambulance before you got to the hospital in order to grab it?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. It's probably coming, though, right?
Oh, it's coming.
Now, to what do you attribute this shortage? What do you think is the causative factor here?
What do I attribute to that? Lack of raw materials, because we keep chewing up the rainforest.
Yeah, well, there you go. And boy, is that interesting.
It's synthetic, and then nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You know, most drugs have their roots in plant medicines. Most drugs have their roots in plant medicines, and then the pharmacologists concentrate and extract what they consider the active ingredients from the plants, and then they synthesize those into drugs. Right. Another reason is and this is perplexing to me, and it's bending my mind a little bit to understand this, because the pharmaceutical industry makes so much money every year. You'd think they'd throw a little bit more money into production of stuff like this that's necessary. I mean, I wonder what the profit motive for atropine is. I wonder what the profit motive for cardiac arrhythmia drugs is. It's probably pretty low, which is why they don't make them sufficient to the cause.
Well, another thing they do is, we go around and round in circles about every 4 to 5 years with research, right? And people that are having heart attacks, I mean, the Heart Association published studies about magnesium. It's so cheap that when you give that after somebody has an MI, that it just helps them get through it that much easier, just to put it in a nutshell. But they don't give it. A $2 worth of magnesium, they won't give it. Right? Well, you want to give these expensive drugs like amiodarone that's blocking your sodium pathways, your potassium pathways, it blocks those two pathways. So a lot of times, it's very costly, very costly. Even the clotbuster medicine right now, TPA, looked like it was on shortage as well.
Really?
And that's bad news, because actually that's a good medicine. It's produced naturally in our bodies and our brain, just like heparin is. It's produced in aorta, but when everybody's cholesterol spackles up their big vessel in their body, the heparin can't do its job. So you just have to give more. And then, I've been involved in studies, worldwide studies, with leporudin, which was from the salivary gland of a leech. You know how effective they are at sucking blood.
Yeah.
And within the first 2 weeks, a lot of people's brains are bleeding because they're taking the wrong dog to the hunt. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even inside of the domain of emergency medicine, the profit motive is still at play here, and the reason that you don't have the stuff that you need in the quantities that you need has everything to do with dollars and cents and hardly anything to do with the actual health of the patient.
That's right.
It's unbelievable to me that we allow this to happen. It's unbelievable to me that we allow this to happen in a country like this. I mean, you're an Army vet. For goodness sake, it makes me want to scream. But, the only thing that keeps me from going into the town square with a torch is longevity, because there is a solution, there is a way, and it's the longevity way. Regretfully, buddy, we're out of time. Check him out on Facebook, Wellness Warriors with a Z. It's the Commander. Thanks for joining us today, buddy. I hope to see you tonight in the fibromyalgia webinar. Be good. Like Facebook, like social media, like that stuff, well, you're going to love Wellness Warriors. Just go to Facebook, type in Wellness Warriors with a Z, WARRIORZ, and check it out. See what they bring to the table. Engage yourself with a worldwide community of like-minded individuals. We all have different religious bents. We all have different political bents. We all live in different countries, in different states, in different counties. But we all have one thing in common. We're all moving across planet Earth in a physical body. And that physical body is subject to certain laws, which are immutable and unescapable. 2 + 2 is always 4, no matter where you come from or where you're going or what your political, religious, spiritual, cultural inclinations are. Mathematics is a harsh mistress. It does not yield, nor do the laws of physics on the material plane, unless, of course, you are an enlightened bodhisattva. But in any case, if you give your body the stuff that it needs in accordance with the laws of nature, your body fixes itself. If you abuse the laws of nature, knowingly or unknowingly, if you consistently put the wrong stuff inside your body and don't give your body the right stuff that it needs to fix itself, it's only a matter of time until your body breaks down. It's not genetic. It's not hereditary. It's got nothing to do with the aging process. It has everything to do with bad advice by the prevailing medical minds. For goodness sake, These are the same people that told your ancestors to put leeches on their body and to open their veins up to bleed out the bad humors. For goodness sake, ladies and gentlemen, when you are faced with a chronic disease, please fire your MD now. Join Youngevity. Get your life back. Let's go to South Carolina and see what Terry's up to. Hey, Terry, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thanks for taking my call. I feel like going, woohoo!
Woohoo!
And also, because I was able to take advantage of the specials this past weekend.
Oh, you like that? The Cyber Monday? How'd you like that? Pretty good, huh?
I loved it, and I am now an insider, so I'm looking forward to tonight. And I also was able to get your CD set.
Oh, fantastic. Well, now you're my best friend, and also that makes you, Terry, the smartest woman in South Carolina.
All right. I hear you. 8 weeks ago, Dr. Wallach put me on a program for rheumatoid arthritis.
How long had you had rheumatoid arthritis before
12
you met
years.
Doc? Okay, 12 years.
12 years. And about a month before that, they had taken x-rays of my knees and said they were really bad. After 8 weeks on the program, or just about, I had other x-rays done, and they're just getting worse. I'm bone on bone with eroded bone. I've got cysts from the rheumatoid arthritis in my knees, and, of course, their answer is total joint replacement.
Right.
I can tell that I'm getting a little less inflammation in my body, but I feel like I'm missing something.
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm not sure what I'm missing. So I've been on the Healthy Bone Joint ×2, glucogels 15 a day, EFA 6 a day, and killer antibiotics 9 a day.
Okay, how about selenium? You taking selenium?
I'm not on selenium.
How much do you weigh?
150.
All right, so take 9 selenium a day, 3 between breakfast and lunch, 3 between lunch and dinner, and 3 between dinner and bed. But you're overlooking the obvious, and this goes back to what I was talking about in the initial segment here. Healing is a process. It's not an event. Healing unfolds over time. Healing is in accordance with the laws of nature. Now, if you were a gardener, you would not expect to plant a tomato seed on Monday and be eating a tomato on Friday. You wouldn't expect
Correct.
that.
Correct.
So you just have to give your body time to heal, time to recover. How many months have you been doing this?
About 2.5 months now.
Okay. Now, besides the joint pain, which is the predominant number one thing here that we're chasing, has anything else improved over the last 10 weeks? Mood, energy, appetite, weight, sleep, menstrual cycle?
I have lost some weight, and I've always had large tonsils, and I noticed that they are going down. So, like I said, I think inflammation is going down in my body.
Yeah.
But I heard you mention phytates, and I can't seem to access that information, and I thought, how important is that to the program?
Well, it's pretty important because the main deal here with you is minerals, because you're up against the bone and a joint thing, and that speaks to minerals rather than vitamins or essential fatty acids, right? Minerals are the thing you need.
Okay.
Phytates are a benign molecule in the body. They don't do any harm, but phytates bind to minerals and disallow them from being absorbed into the bloodstream. So if you swallow a mineral supplement on top of a meal that had a lot of phytates in it, you're going to be cutting down the amount of minerals that get into your blood. So you might be taking the 150-pound dose, but you might only be absorbing 50 pounds of it because of the presence of the phytates. And I'll tell you about that in a second, but this begs the question, Terry, have you eliminated the 10 bad foods?
I thought I had, but coconut oil, is that a bad food?
Yeah, it's a bad food.
Okay, that's it.
All right, but your wheat, barley, rye, and oats free.
I'm doing, and I found out that my cat food had corn gluten in it, so I'm getting rid of that. So.
Okay, you were feeding that to your husband, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, very, very good. So now that you're gluten-free, that's a very good thing. Now that you're an insider, I have a webinar in the archives. So you just log into your account at my website and check out the webinar called Maximizing the Absorption of Supplements.
Okay.
It's in there. It's at your disposal 24 hours a day, and it tells you all about phytates and the deal there. But really the only other thing, so I'll give you a little insider information here, okay?
Thank you.
The old-time naturopathic physicians, the people that founded naturopathic medicine, the luminaries inside of the profession of naturopathic medicine, always said that it takes the body approximately 1 month for every year that you've had the problem to get on the other side of the problem. So if you've been dealing with rheumatoid arthritis for 10 years, we can reasonably assume it's going to take you 10 months to get on the other side of it.
Correct.
So you just need to maintain the discipline. Maintain the discipline. And you know what this is like? I fly a lot, right? I travel a lot. We lecture all over the world for longevity. And sometimes I'm amazed. You know, I'll land at a runway somewhere when we're taxiing to the hangar, and we pass this gigantic jet, right? Like a 777 or whatever. It's this unbelievably monstrous thing. It's like, holy smokes, how can that get off the ground? And when you watch a big lumbering plane like that try to take off, it chews up about a mile of runway before the nose even lifts up off the ground. And this is the way that it goes with medical nutrition. What you're going to experience is very little, 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 son of a gun, all of a sudden, overnight, more, and then boom, everything's going to roll together. This is how medical nutrition works. It has a cumulative effect. It's working in the background all of the time. The jet's cruising down the runway, and, you know, it's still on the runway, and it's still on the runway, it's still on the runway, still on the runway. And then all of a sudden the nose lifts up, but the body of the plane is still on the runway. But then, all of a sudden, in like 2 seconds, it's 3,000 feet in the air. Boom, just like that. And that's how medical nutrition works. There was a woman on the webinar this morning. We had a live chat this morning. There was a woman from, I think, from Nova Scotia. I can't remember. But she said that she was plugging away at longevity, and it took 10 months for her weight to start peeling away like water rolling off the back of a duck. She's losing 1 to 2 to 3 pounds a week now, whereas before it was slow going. And so I'm as God is my witness, it is only a matter of time until these chickens come home to roost for you. You just need to maintain the discipline. And yes, you can speed it up by paying attention to the role of phytates in your life. And also, you know, one thing that you can do as an experiment for 7 days, double the amount of white liquid calcium that you're swallowing every day. So how much of that stuff are you taking now? 2 ounces a day, right? I'm taking 1 ounce
times 2, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening.
All right. So take 2 in the morning and 2 immediately before bed.
Okay.
And when you take the liquid calcium, dissolve it in as much orange juice.
Okay.
So put 2 ounces of the liquid calcium in 2 ounces of orange juice in the morning, and put 2 ounces of the liquid calcium in 2 ounces of orange juice immediately before bed. For 7 days. Just do that for 7 days, and inside that 7-day period, look to see if you get traction on your joint pain. Now, if you do, well, then you can just increase the dosage, or you can go back to the old dosage and just wait, because it's only a matter of time until this rolls in for you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It does.
All right, Terry, you're the greatest. I'll look forward to seeing you tonight. Dr. Wallach's going to be in the house, fibromyalgia.
Absolutely.
You're not going to want to miss it. To tell everybody in your life. Now, you know, as an insider, you can invite people who are not insiders to the webinar. That's why we do it.
Wonderful.
So you can invite guests to the webinar. You just go into your account, cut, copy, and paste the link for the webinar and email it to whoever you want to attend. And that's how we're going to change the world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me ask you this, though, real quick. I heard you mention the antibiotic minocycline.
Yeah.
Does that apply at what time? Or just don't worry about that right now?
No, before Dr. Wallach had Killer Biotic, he would recommend minocycline.
Okay.
But since the advent of Killer Biotic, that's not necessary anymore. I'm
Very
telling
good.
you the
That
truth,
works for
Terry.
me.
There you go, girl. You just need to give it more time. And by the way, when your jet takes off, call me back, and let's tell the world here on live radio. Appreciate you.
I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
All right. Keep up
Looking forward.
Keep up the good work. It's how we do it, folks. I mean, wouldn't you like to be involved in a worldwide organization with somebody like that? I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, even though she's struggling with a health condition for a long time, she's optimistic. You can hear it in her voice. She's carrying the torch. She's involved in the discipline. She's in it for the long run. And this is the type of people that longevity attracts. It is. I mean, one of the reasons you go to the church that you go to is because of the people that it attracts. Well, you multiply that by 1,000, and you've got longevity. All over the world, there are friends waiting to meet you that you're going to have so much fun with these people when you meet them finally, and you finally find your real family. It's called Longevity Nation. 866-582-9933. We're going to talk to Drew and Tessa in California when we come back. Stick around. FireYourMDNow.com is the website you want to send to everybody in your life. Just send them a link to that website and let us help to educate people about the stuff they didn't even know they didn't know, and let them have a eureka moment regarding their own health, and then you can sleep soundly tonight. Let's talk to Teresa and Drew in California and see what's going on. Hello, ladies. Thanks for calling. You are live.
Essie? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Teresa Khan, 79 years old. Hurt my back at the flower pot. So this after I went to the urgent care and they told me I did yes. So I had MRI. That they gave me L4 and L3, 4 and 5 is 1. Chest herniation, thoracoabdominal.
Okay, very good. So we're having trouble hearing your signal here in Radio Land. Let me see if I can get this straight. You're in your late 70s. You were lifting some flower pots, and you got a pain in your back. You went to the doctor, and they did an MRI and told you that you have bulging discs in your low back, and now you want to know what to do. Is that pretty much it, Drew? Are we pretty much up to speed here?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so, sometimes you can do something to the body, no matter how strong the body is, no matter how healthy the body is. There's a stress that's going to break the body. But I have to tell you something, Teresa. Lifting a flower pot is not nearly enough stress to cause a disc to bulge. And if that's what it was that caused it, then I'm going to come down on the side that the reason that this happened to you is because your discs were a little weak to begin with, right? That your discs were a little weak to begin with. And why do intervertebral discs become weak? Why do kidneys become weak? Why do livers become weak? Why do bones and joints and eyes and teeth become weak? Because you have a bad medical doctor. Because your medical doctor, bless his or her heart, has no training, no concern, no respect, and quite frankly, no eye towards helping you to get healthy. Your medical doctor's only job is to deliver drugs and surgery which manage the symptoms that you have once your body is broken. They do not even come close in any way, shape, or form to practicing preventive medicine. And if we all boycotted the MDs tomorrow, it would be the best possible thing that could happen to healthcare in the United States. So what we do when we're up against a situation like this is really pretty easy. If you had a little tomato plant that was struggling, well, you'd give it good soil, good fertilizer, good water, and make sure it had good sunlight every day, right? You change things up a little bit. Well, it's no different with the body. So we need to feed your body nutrition that the joints need to recover their health. And this is easier than falling off of a potato truck. The recommendation here is 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 capsule of glucogel per 10 pounds of body weight per day. Now, Drew can help you figure out how to get that stuff at the wholesale price. She can help you figure out how to take it. And in addition to taking those supplements into your body every day, you also need to stop eating food that's gumming up the works. Stop eating food that's making the discs weak, making your body weak. Now, Drew also knows what that list is. We call it the 10 bad foods. So if you stop eating the 10 bad foods and you start to take these nutritional supplements every day into your body, like your life depended on it, then every week or 2, you should start to feel a little bit better somewhere in your body. Maybe it's your mood, maybe it's your energy, maybe it's your sleep, maybe who knows what. And then, of course, the back pain we look to see subside. You can also give her the CM cream, Drew. Give her the CM cream in order to help manage the pain, if pain is a big factor here. I haven't seen the CM cream work that well for disc pain. I've seen it work extremely well for joint pain, but this is kind of a different animal. So you might want to try a little tester there, and it never hurts in a case like this to give 1 extra bottle of plant minerals a month. We're out of time, ladies. I appreciate the phone call. Stick around, folks. Hour 2 coming up.